Welcome to Acquired Taste Podcast. We are back. It's your boy Dirty D.
It's your boy Tight Daddy.
It's Queen B and...
Hey, it's Katrina.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey. Big Cat's back. It's time. It is time. Welcome back, Kat. It's been a while.
Yeah,
it's been a minute. Actually, it's been a while since we had B on here too, actually.
Yeah, that's true.
So
you guys have no idea how excited I am to have another girl on the podcast.
Ladies.
It's the first time ever.
Actually, yeah, this is the first time we've had this set up.
Yeah.
This will be nice. This is nice.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Hell yeah.
This is
Hell
great
yeah.
so far.
Got the United Nations up in this bitch, really.
Hey.
A little bit of everything is represented. You know,
We really
I feel good. I feel good about that. You know, we have
Yeah.
representation, diversity.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
This is about include. This is the dream that Martin Luther King Jr. we're talking about.
Yeah,
This
nobody
is it
can be
right-
upset.
Right here. People gonna be mad about anything, really.
Is this a dream?
Well, I guess.
I mean, this is a dream. Might have been part of his dream.
I mean, seems like a pretty good dream to me. I got
I'm cool with
Twisted
it.
Tea.
Yeah, that's
We
true.
got him.
That's true. Big Cat was so kind and gracious with the tea party.
Hell yeah.
Since Deej doesn't drink, she gave him an Arizona tea.
Hell yeah.
So that was very
I
thoughtful
haven't
of
had
you,
one
by
of
the
these
way.
in so long.
Thank
I'm going to
you.
get this in a little bit here.
Oh yeah,
I
dude, tap in there.
fucking love Arizona.
Are
Love
they
it.
still
They're
$1?
so good.
They are still $1. Well,
price on the can, though.
some
I actually
places
don't know.
Some places charge you more than $1, but like if you go to the gas station, it's usually $1.
Yeah, there was that whole thing about Arizona teas where like if you saw it somewhere for more than $1, you could tell them, and they would call the
Yeah,
corporation. They don't do that anymore. Yeah, that time is long
I
gone.
know.
Inflation.
They're also moving toward like the plastic bottles because they got them in plastic bottles and they're smaller and they're like
Yeah.
like $2 or whatever.
The taste
They
is
don't
not the same.
hit right. Yeah.
They don't. You're right. They
don't.
don't taste the same. It's very odd. There's something we need to talk about. This podcast episode is now changing topics.
Yeah.
The fuck Arizona.
This is so
Arizona
important, you guys.
Figure out what's going on here.
We're here to talk about Arizona iced teas and inflation and the evils of inflation. How dare you?
A tea podcast.
How dare you? Actually, if we had a tea podcast, that would be us just gossiping the entire time.
Yeah, tea with tea.
I will
Not a
always bring the
slurping.
tea for you guys.
That is so nice.
Perfect.
So nice.
Hell yeah.
That's going to be our spin-off podcast, me and Kat.
That would be so great.
Yeah.
I would actually listen to that.
Hell yeah.
We're doing it.
That would be
Yes.
fun. Such a great idea. This
Hell
is
yeah.
Just like
been a day of ideas.
Gossip about you two or something.
Yes, and hot tea with like gin in it is fantastic. So we could have different kinds of tea.
Yeah, like a different kind of tea every
Right?
episode.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm
This is
so
good.
down for this.
This is going well.
Yeah, Aaron, can we use your house though? I don't have
I'll just like go outside or something. Like
Yeah,
I'm just
I
gonna
don't know.
fuck off for
Yeah.
a while, I guess.
Hang out in the garage.
Aaron's in there sleeping. Me and Kat are out here just like, did you guys hear what Lipton did?
Oh my God.
Like, who wants to be in my house? Like why is it? It's like 1 a.m.
Yeah. Hell
Just
yeah.
in my house somehow.
And we're just like,
like Charlie sees you, just goes back into his room. Like I just
As he should.
nope.
yes, you should.
Just nopes his way back into his room.
Doing a thing.
Just right. Just don't ruin it.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Anyway,
Right. Anyways, welcome to Quiet Taste Podcast.
let us know in the comments how much you want the tea cast.
Please.
See, Kat, I think it's a good idea. So yeah, we might have to run with that. So yeah, welcome to Quiet Taste Podcast. If you guys are new to the podcast, we talk about some history, some mystery, some pop culture stuff, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Mainly kind of try to stay focused on history though, but you know how it goes. We wander. If you are new, thank you for checking us out. We try to get a little bit of I should say like icebreaker, a little conversation in the beginning, about 15 minutes ish. Then we get into the topic at hand, or at least try to. You know how it goes. If you are a returning listener, we appreciate you. Thank you for supporting us all this time. We've just hit our 2 years. We're doing a beer release soon, by the way. April 27th. We're doing that at Fort Local. Got Jason coming through. The Turnip Seed.
Yeah.
Turn it up. He's going to be making a specialty burger for us, by the way. So yeah, we're doing a beer release and a burger release.
And it sounds good, y'all. Like, I'm not
gonna
at
be
liberty
good.
to say what it is, but it sounds damn good.
It's gonna be good in me, in fact. So yeah, come out to Fort Local April 27th. Check us out. That'd be tight. We'll be there, shaking hands, kissing babies, and drinking a beer. It's not for DJ. He'll
Kissing
just
foreheads.
be kissing foreheads. Which, speaking of which, if you're a returning listener, you know what it is. Thank you. You deserve forehead kisses. There it is.
That's so cute.
There it is. There it is. Actually, I think Kat, when I saw you in person, like, didn't I give you an actual forehead kiss?
I had to request it, but yes, you did.
Indeed.
Yeah, and before I leave here today, 1, 2, 3. 4 head kisses for me.
Yeah.
And you know what? We got yelled at
We did.
because we forgot to give 4 head kisses one episode.
Yeah, it's true.
I know.
Yeah. We fixed it.
We did fix it.
Oh, good.
We did fix it.
Oh,
Yep.
good.
Yep.
Tightened up all the bolts, you know.
Yep.
Good.
Yeah, she informed us at our at the party. That was a very, very starch, very poignant conversation we had about that. I was terrified.
Yeah.
Jesus.
She was not pleased.
Hey, we fuck up sometimes, guys.
Yeah,
We're sorry.
we try not to, but you know, it'd be like that sometimes. Sometimes it do.
It do be like that, like all the time.
The tables do be turning.
When is it not like that?
Yeah, for real.
The tables be turning. God damn it.
Oh God, Deej, what you got for us this week, man? What's our question, dude?
So I kind of wanted to do something different because this was just like a funny list that I came across pertaining to the topic we were talking about today. So I got to kind of get into it, like give away the topic as to getting into this. So I got a list of some, I'm not going to read all of them, but a list of reasons why you may be committed into an insane asylum in the 19th century.
Hell yeah.
I love
Oh,
it.
that's a good one. Okay, yeah, that's
so
good.
let
All
me
of
know
the
if
above.
you might be committed.
Oh my God.
That's like never have I ever.
Number one is just like being a woman.
Yeah.
Being a woman with an opinion. Being a woman with an opinion.
Number one, imaginary female trouble.
I mean,
Hang
how
on.
about some real female trouble?
Female trouble is
Because
literally
I got
not real.
I got
though,
plenty
so.
of real female
Yeah.
trouble.
Honestly, yeah.
I also probably have some imaginary female trouble as well.
Yeah. Being kicked in the head by a horse.
Ooh.
Well, that usually causes death.
That'll
So
get you committed.
Okay.
okay.
If you don't die, you're
Right.
getting your ass committed.
I can see how that could affect someone.
Yeah.
Laziness.
What?
Laziness.
Just in general?
Yep.
Okay.
Masturbation.
Mm-hmm.
That'll get you.
Yep. Yep.
Syphilis. If you have syphilis, we're gonna.
Well, it
Commit
does attack the brain, so I suppose.
you. Yeah, just in case, we're gonna commit you.
Just
All right.
in case.
Yeah. Okay.
Overtaxing mental powers.
So, like, you're psychic?
I
We don't like
understand.
them too
Yeah, that's
smart.
what I thought.
Like,
You're a
Oh,
little
if
too
you're
smart.
I have mental powers.
Yeah.
okay,
Asthma.
so I'm fucked there. All right, so fuck me. It's not my fault that oxygen hates my. All right, it's not my fault that my body hates oxygen. All right, that can't be helped.
It's really not looking good. And so this list I found was
Bullshit.
of one particular place
Okay.
that was in West Virginia, kind of like a Quaker state, you know, at the time. Death of sons in a war.
What?
That sucks.
Well, that's
That's gonna
just
cause
Yeah,
problems.
so-
Yeah.
if you're
So I
it's not
feel
even their
like
fault.
I feel like the current diagnosis with that would probably be like PTSD. I would
Oh
assume.
God! Could you imagine like you're the husband and you get a letter like both your sons died at war and you look at your wife and you're like, oh, it's not looking good for you, baby.
Yeah, right. You gotta go.
He's like, all right, take her away, boys.
I gotta make a phone call real
She
quick.
burnt roast.
They have like a
outta here.
bag packed and ready to go,
Yeah.
like at all times,
Yeah.
just in case.
I don't even know what this is. Dropsy.
Dropsy?
Drops. It sounds like a fun
Oh.
game.
That's a Pokemon.
Dropsy.
Isn't it?
I used to know what that is
Might
actually.
be.
Isn't that a Pokemon?
I really hope
Oopsie
not.
poopsie. That's what I think. Dropsy.
Whoopsie doopsie.
Whoops.
Daisy.
What? Hang on. All right, go ahead. I keep
Okay.
going. I found the definition for it, but I have to give me a second.
Also, on top of imaginary female trouble,
Oh God.
just regular female trouble. Also,
Yeah, you're. Yeah. No troubles. No troubles over here.
you,
Right.
you
I
better
swear to
not. None of that troubles.
I was not
no
crying.
right,
rapping.
like you better not complain. Get back into that kitchen to make my roast.
Right? It's too bad they couldn't take showers back then to hide their tears. What I do?
Damn.
They didn't have Wait, what era are we talking about
It's the
here?
1800s,
We're in the
right?
19th century. We're talking about 1864 to
When were
the
showers invented?
1900s. You know,
I don't know.
this is one of my favorites. The war.
That's
In
it.
general.
That's it.
The
General
war.
war.
That's all it says. Just the
In
war.
general.
Yeah.
There's
There-
a war going on. Get your ass
That'll
to
get you
the
the kids
asylum.
There is no war in Bossing Say. By the way, dropsy is a term used to describe and describe generalized swelling, and was also known as a symptom of heart failure.
Oh.
Oh. I don't have that.
So like your feet are a little swollen that day. They're like, all right, get out of here.
Well,
Right, like,
Trust
imagine,
in
like,
the asylum.
yeah.
Wait, what's the Pokemon then?
I don't know. Yeah, it's just an edema. That's all it is. It's just another name for an edema is dropsy.
Okay, yeah.
Wow.
That sucks though, because that could like,
It's like everybody
yeah,
too.
like my ankles get swollen.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, sucks.
Somebody punches you in the face and you get like a welt there.
Or if you just have like what was that? The mumps.
Is like bloating in this category? Like
Probably
can't
is.
stop thinking about like
Wow, I'm super
Sure,
sorry.
why the fuck not?
You
Yeah.
know?
I'm
Yeah,
so
it's that they actually do say it's mostly in the feet, ankles, or legs. So yeah, like imagine like you're just pregnant, your feet swell up, and it's
Yeah.
like nope,
If you're pregnant, you're already
Gotta
in
go.
the asylum.
100%.
Gotta go.
100%.
Yeah.
gotta go. I don't know why they reminded me of like the foot tubs that the stoves used to have. Like the kitchens back in that era, the stove would have a spot where you can pull out and soak your feet while you're cooking food.
What?
Why is
don't
that the
they have
best
that
idea
now?
ever?
Yeah. Are you fucking
mean-
kidding me?
I want to soak my feet while I'm cooking.
100%. Doing the dishes? Like, yeah.
All right, company, you heard it here first.
We got
so
problems.
nice.
We have problems.
Oh my god, I know. I hate I have one of those mat, like the squishy mat,
Yeah.
in front of my.
Doesn't
Like
work.
it doesn't do anything.
That's why I got rid of mine.
I got a hip that gets out of whack when I stand on it.
My knees, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, my back's just not made for it. This thing's also too short, and it's like there's a height issue
You're
there.
a large man.
I can't help that. Genetics be
My
like
sink
that.
is actually really small, so like if I have to wash a large bowl or something, I'm like wrestling with it.
Yeah. I don't
Scrubbing
have
little
a
bit at
kitchen sink right now.
Wait, what?
What?
Why?
I was just there. What happened to it?
We had to
Someone stole
replace it. But yeah, someone came into my house in the middle of the night.
Out of all the things I could take,
Maybe I hallucinated it. I don't know. I don't know.
took everything and the kitchen sink.
No, they literally yes.
Literally.
Hey, hit yourself. There you go. That's it.
God, that felt
Hell
really
yeah.
good.
Like Ben freaks the fuck out whenever we get to use a button. Like that man just goes right to his the brain.
Dude, since I've been here, you didn't have this.
This whole setup's new, actually.
Yeah. So that just
Yeah, that's DJ
like
over here.
real
Operating.
life, that felt so good.
I'm
You
happy
got
to hear
to see him
that.
like present.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna see if we can get back to that again.
Hell yeah.
Gonna keep pushing. We'll see what happens.
yeah.
Is there
Okay,
more?
so I have a couple. There's a lot more, but I'm only going to read like two or three more.
Okay.
Novel reading.
Are you serious?
You better
those
not.
damn novels.
You better not.
Kids these days and their books.
You better not be reading no novels.
What?
Women these days and being able to read.
Now, a lot of these I'm reading were actual reasons people were committed to this place.
This is
This
great.
isn't like universal. These
Some
were just
guys like, man, my wife just will not stop reading novels.
He's
We're grin.
This lady's.
fine.
And her feet are swollen as fuck. I don't know
worth
what's going on. You guys gotta take her.
This is my second favorite. Gunshot wound.
Committed. Immediately. Yeah.
Right. Obviously.
I feel like all of these are women.
Probably.
Like somehow they
Oh,
were like,
I would.
I'm
Yeah.
Have to be.
Sure.
Novel
just figured
reading,
out a
come
way.
on.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I
Some
read
guy
a lot, but
tries
still.
to shoot his
Yeah.
wife and she doesn't die, so he's like, well, I guess I'll
All right,
take
guys.
you to the
It almost
asylum.
seems like it goes hand in hand with like, you're a witch.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
I was gonna make that
Yeah.
joke today. I
Exactly.
had
I'm
it.
so sorry.
Every intentional. It was fine.
Okay.
Insane
can still
do it.
asylums
It's fine.
are like the later version of she's a
Yeah,
witch.
they figured it out. It's like prisons are just like modern day slavery. Like they figured it
Yeah.
out.
Oh yeah,
How
easily.
can we keep them all
Well,
down?
industrialized slavery,
Yeah,
but yeah, it's well, not industrialized. It's
Yeah.
So I'm looking for capitalist. No, for
And,
profit.
I haven't
It's-
read enough
well,
novels
definitely, I mean, they're
to
both
know.
I
profit,
know
really.
what word you're thinking of,
Yeah, it'll come to me.
but I can't remember.
We're gonna
it
get
right
there.
now. Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay, so I'm just gonna read two more. One
Okay,
is
what's up?
a rumor of husband murder.
Ooh.
Okay.
So like you didn't actually murder him.
No, like husband took off
You
because
were
like
you were
you're-
rumored.
Fuck, yeah, you can't
I
handle
heard.
you. Wow.
I heard you did it.
Okay.
And last but not least, female disease. If that,
Oh,
does,
yeah.
if that doesn't
The
seal the
female
deal for
disease.
you,
It's just
You know?
yeah.
like
the female
gingivitis, just in a female. So you gotta
Yep.
go
It's
like,
like-
any kind of disease, or is it specifically a woman?
No, it's
That's what I mean. Like you're at the
One-
doctor with your wife, and they're like, "Well, you both got syphilis," and the husband's
Oh.
like, "Yes," because he knows his wife's fucked.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
you gotta go, baby.
Gotta go.
Just in
Damn.
case.
Gotta go.
Yep.
See, I got a man
That was a
disease.
good list.
In the
Not a female's disease.
at the asylums in the 1800s, they used to treat syphilis by injecting people with malaria.
Yes, I read about that, and it's wild.
Fuck
Huh.
yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah, like
That's
This will flush it out.
Well, yeah,
totally
it's
makes
because,
sense, really.
So that the malaria was supposed to attack the syphilis.
yeah, because like the fever
But
that
then
you
they
get
have,
from
like,
malaria, but then you
malaria.
have malaria.
Yeah, they have fucking malaria.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
It's like something like half of them, the syphilis did go away, but like they also died of malaria.
Well, yeah, because it's not malaria,
At
right?
least it
Like,
wasn't syphilis, I guess.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever been when you were younger and you hurt something and then your parents like, should we cut
yeah.
it off?
Or they're like,
Punch yourself in the
I'll
face.
give you something to cry about,
Yeah.
and then they'll like,
Or like if I punch you in the face, then your arm
Yeah,
won't hurt
exactly.
anymore, right? Like
Exactly.
that's what that reminded me of.
we had horrible parents.
we really
Yeah.
did.
No, yeah. That was not
We
okay.
super did. You know which one I was just talking about the other day and I fucking hated? Was like when you would forget something or like you would be in a conversation or something, you were like, oh, I was going to do this thing, but I forgot. And then your parent would be like, well, must not have been that important. Hard.
Hardy,
Oh, my parents weren't funny. No, it was more like, what the fuck is wrong with you? All right. Cool.
Yeah, well, my favorite one to bring up now is like you should have been on that damn computer all the time.
Oh, I know. That damn computer.
Got him.
Yeah, how'd that work out?
You got him.
Every time they ask me for any kind of tech advice, it's like, hey, Aaron, this thing stopped working. Huh? Should have been all that time on that computer, huh?
I'll tell you what, my
So-
mom might have been right by telling me I'll go blind if I sit too close to the TV.
The fuck, you blind as hell.
She might have
CJ.
hit that one on the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, you blind as hell, dog.
Yep.
I don't know. I like
She called it.
if you get tattoos, you're never gonna get a job.
Oh, yeah, that
That
one's
one's
Oh yeah,
good.
that was a good one.
That's a good one for sure.
Oh, the one where the teacher was so like, you're not gonna have a computer in your pocket or a calculator in your
Calculator in your
pocket.
pocket.
You're not going to
Guess
go
what,
around
dumb bitch?
carrying a calculator
Yeah.
in your pocket.
Well,
Fucking
right,
idiot.
how the turns have tabled,
Yeah. Yeah.
bitch.
Damn
Anyways.
parents and teachers.
Oh, that was therapy
How
right
did
there.
we
That's
get
good.
there?
I do not know.
Wow.
it dripped,
That's a took a turn right there. That's
dripped a little bit.
yeah, that
We
felt
took a
good.
left into Tangent City.
That yeah, I think we needed that though. We needed to get that off our chest
I
real
feel
quick.
better.
Like,
I feel better about
that's
it.
a little therapy right
Not
there.
all of us can afford therapy.
Yeah, not. Hey, look, it's either therapy or jail. All right, I chose wisely. Anyways, damn bodies also stack up. Ridiculous, really.
Who we killing?
Angry bastards. Anywho,
Yeah, I think it's safe to say all of us would have been committed.
Oh, for sure.
oh, easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't even need a list. Like, I already know.
Yeah.
I mean, like, none of us realistically would have had a chance just by existing, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I mean, you guys
you
are
and me
women.
are out immediately.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
like you're
We're the
women.
first to
I'm
go.
black, so
Yeah.
it's like, oh
Yeah.
shit. Like,
Yeah.
And DJ's
whatever
Well,
the fuck he is.
DJ.
He's blind.
Right.
There's
Would it
that.
help if I was the one who committed you guys?
Whoa.
I feel like you would do that.
Like,
I feel like they would kidnap you immediately. Like, who the fuck's this guy?
I'm trying to play both sides of the fence. You know, just
No, DJ's like, we all get to the asylum, and DJ's the one dressed as a patient, and he's like, I'm gonna get you guys out.
Yes. No, I think you hit that on the head. Absolutely.
He's like, just
So
do
thank you.
Just do as I
that could
say.
be right. Yeah. Like I think I got it all figured out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's all going down on Tuesday, guys. Just do everything I tell you to do.
So bad. So horrible.
Anyway.
Anyways, if you couldn't guess, we're talking about asylums today and some other stuff involving with that. This is Kat's topic actually, so she's going to be our Sherpa through this journey
I'm so excited.
of asylums. You know, speaking of which, like, so I was just thinking about this earlier when I was thinking about the topic itself. And you guys ever seen the movie Sucker Punch?
Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah, like they just lobotomized everybody in that movie.
Yeah, they sure did.
Yep,
They
I don't
and
know
the
that
whole.
I've seen that.
Oh my god, it's
it's
so
pretty good. It's like
A lot of people hated it, but I just really
Yeah.
loved the cinematography and the overall like twist of it all.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool.
I thought it was good.
And every woman in there was completely hot, like just
And
insanely
so
gorgeous.
badass.
And so badass.
Yeah.
It was great. It was a good movie. I own it if you want to borrow it.
Yeah, I think
It's
I'll check it
super.
out.
You should watch
Yeah.
it. It's really good.
Yeah, it's pretty it's
Very entertaining.
Because it was the same people that did was it 300?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It was the same like production company or whatever that did 300. So it's got those same very like very cool visuals where like you can stop it at any moment. It's just like this beautiful
slow
scene.
motion lobotomies.
I don't know if they were in slow motion, but they definitely happened.
Yeah.
A lot of slow motion ass kicking.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, it's an action movie for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good one. But that's just reminded me because, like, oh yeah, they gave every woman that movie a lobotomy
They sure
because they
did.
were pretty much admitted to this place to be fixed
Oh, yes, of course.
for
Yeah.
men, essentially. Which a big thing about lobotomy.
Don't ruin the rest of it though.
Okay, I can't do that. Yeah, I'll leave it
Watch
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
there. It's an old movie, so if I spoil it for
It
listeners, so like,
yeah.
it's an old fucking movie. Y'all should have seen it by now. It's not my fault. Kill the times.
Jesus. Can I borrow it then today?
Yeah, you can't totally.
Thank you.
She's like, can we pause the podcast so we can go watch it?
I gotta go. I gotta go. Yeah.
We already have pizza. I have
Yeah.
popcorn.
Right?
Make this happen, actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be fun.
Just enough teas left.
Yeah, just go to a liquor store run.
Mm-hmm.
Send Charlie.
It's a great idea.
He's good for something.
Then tell him he can't join us.
Oh my god!
Somebody hug him.
Somebody came up to us at the party and was like, "Why are you guys so mean to Charlie?"
It's so great. My favorite one was when I forgot who Ben said it was, but I think it was like maybe one of his family members. It's like, who is Charlie and why is he so bad? Fuck.
You guys will never know.
Nope, it's a mystery.
Yep.
Got to be there.
Charlie, a
Had to
secret.
be there. That's why there's a drink called the Poor Charlie, though. It's
That's true.
true. You remember that?
I do remember
Yeah.
that. It's a good drink.
It was a good drink. Anyways, so Kat, what's going on? What you want to talk to us about today? Tell the people what's on your mind.
Let's tell the people. Okay. So I got my little notes here. Gosh, so there's so much when it comes to the history of psychiatric hospitals.
Yeah, there really is. That's
Oh
like
my gosh.
that's like when you told me yesterday that was, or day before yesterday that was the topic. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Well, I figured you would enjoy it.
Oh yeah, the last one when they were like we were talking about the troubles in
Yeah.
Ireland, and I was like, oh okay, and I looked into it. I was like, wait, are you fucking kidding me? God damn it, man!
There's just
It's
so
like
much.
such a
yeah.
huge topic, and it's like I can't. I have like 2 hours after work that I
Kinda
have in
stupid.
between work and sleep.
Well, your question,
can't
Deej, was
do
like
this
the
to
troubles. Like the troubles of what?
Yeah,
Like,
I was like, what does that mean? The troubles? What, my troubles? Like, what are you talking about?
What are your troubles with the Irish?
No, like I said, it was the time that there was
Yeah.
troubles.
Yeah,
You were in the bathroom.
The one time.
Yeah.
Real
Yeah.
bad.
you were in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Everybody,
Indeed.
Very
right?
vividly.
Everybody knows about it except for DJ, apparently.
Right. We're all there.
He'll get there. We'll hear the.
I missed that one.
Right.
Ooh, I keep hitting this and it's freaking me out.
Oh, you can remove that if you want.
No, I'm gonna leave it. I'm
Okay.
scared of it.
Move the mic a little bit closer to your face.
Closer?
Yes. It needs
Nope,
more.
that's
You got to
Oh,
turn.
Oh yeah,
there
you
you
can
go.
twist
It
a
needs
little-
more.
do a little-
It needs more cat.
I struggle with that
More
too
big head.
sometimes because
Is
like
that better?
I'll talk
Yes.
really softly and like you can't hear me sometimes.
Yeah.
and,
Yeah. The internet deserves to hear you vividly.
Oh my God, thank you for that.
This
Is this
is
better?
how I get the kisses.
Yes.
I get real
that is
close.
better. That sounds good.
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah.
Okay, very
You're,
good.
you're nailing it.
Okay, good. So I guess I can move on now.
You're good.
Okay,
Oh,
great.
take off.
Great. So I thought it would be fun to first talk about terms of what made somebody insane, which is kind of similar to what you were just doing,
Tight.
TJ. But not necessarily what could get you committed, but like what were the terms, I
The
guess.
medical definitions or whatever.
So the first thing is a lunatic.
Okay.
And so that's a person, this is back in the 1800s, by the way. So not super long time ago, but a long time ago. And a lunatic is a person that is sometimes of good sound memory and understanding and sometimes not. So kind of going through like
So my mom.
periods. Yeah, dude, my mom too. Yep, our moms.
Our moms.
But yeah, they would have like moments of freakouts is how I understand it. So that's that.
I just like couldn't imagine like you both being stuck in this asylum with your parents.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
That'd be the end of you.
They would have to hide the sharp objects from me.
No, 100%. Well, you have hands, though. They'd have to cut off my hands. Probably.
They would do that, I think.
Probably have to cut off my mom's hands. Yikes.
It's a lot of just a room full of hands.
Anyways. So an imbecile. You could actually, that was a term of
I love
somebody. And that's a person who is unable to take care of themselves. So when someone calls you an imbecile, they're like, you can't even take care of yourself. You probably shit yourself. Like, yeah. Yep.
That's so funny because like so many of these terms that like we think of now are just insults.
Yeah.
They like were legitimately calling people like, oh, he's just the town idiot.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's like if we were like, oh yeah, that guy over there, he's just like the dumbass.
Yeah.
You know?
In fact,
But like this dumbest ass of the entire town.
yeah. Oh, yeah. It was a real thing. And I guess that's where it comes from. But idiot is the next one. So that's a natural fool from birth. So, in fact, idiots.
He was born that way.
Were
Born
so
stupid.
Born
Idiot.
dumb.
He was born stupid.
they were more impaired than a lunatic. So I guess it would be someone that maybe had a learning disability, something like that, right?
Sure.
But then they had some other ones like melancholia. So that's if you have depression for like no apparent reason.
I
which
like
think-
that better than depression.
Yeah, right.
Like,
It
I
just
have
sounds so
melancholia.
fancy.
It does sound like a higher class of it.
Yeah.
Like if you're depressed but a millionaire, you have melancholia.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I
I'm
want
not
that
depressed.
documented in
Yeah.
my file.
I have melancholia.
Yeah, I feel that. It's like
Yeah.
I have melancholia.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, if you have active melancholia,
Oh.
High functioning depression.
No.
That's
Well,
us. That's us.
it's a functioning, but not in the way you want it to.
Okay.
So those were people who were severely depressed and often heard voices accompanied by delusions and hallucinations.
So
So
schizophrenic.
yeah, that's
Yep.
So
and
us. Got it.
those people were at higher risk of suicide, things like
shit.
that. So they took them very seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And then dementia. Dementia was like any severe mental illness with delusions and hallucinations. That's more schizophrenia
Yeah.
than active melancholia. Hysteria.
Love that one.
My fave.
Yeah.
My fave.
Classic.
So this term evolved over time. It began with the idea that a woman's womb wandered the body,
I remember this.
and that's what made her not okay only until she either got married to have marital sex, of course, or got pregnant.
That's all them men being like, this dick will cure you, baby.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. You better get
Yeah.
that womb in order, lady.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? So, like, for a long time, women were not allowed to fly on planes because men thought that their wombs would fly out of their bodies.
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
what?
I love it because they're like, why risk it? You know?
Yeah. Exactly.
like sometimes it's supposed to say like, man, this woman, I swear to God.
Keep them on the ground.
Right.
We don't want that womb going anywhere. Keep it where it belongs.
I imagine you sit there in the plane and get smacked in the face with a womb.
Yeah.
Some wife is like, honey, can I go on your business trip with you? And he's like,
No, dame.
oh, darling, no. You cannot for fear of your womb.
Big wombs
being
flying
the
all over the
woman.
place.
Right. It was pandemonium.
Oh my God.
I wish you could. I really do. But, you know, your womb.
It's so perfect. And probably a conversation that happened more
easily
than once.
happened.
Yes. Yeah. Just to kind of on the same note really quick, and I can't remember where it was, and I did not note it, but even before this, they still had the idea of the wandering womb. That was the first thought of it. But
Band name called it.
What did you say? What did you just say to me?
I said,
Oh, 100%.
band name called
100%. Yes. But they used to, instead of getting married or getting pregnant, they would take perfume or something super foul smelling and put it near your vagina to try to get your womb to go back where it belonged.
Get it back in order.
Yeah.
Because it had a
Smell this.
smell.
Smell this.
So like it
Yeah.
could smell.
It's like you put out like
I'm
a scent
sorry,
for the
what?
deer when
Yes.
you're hunting, you know?
the
Like,
womb had a sense of smell.
Yeah.
That's what you're
So,
telling
like,
me.
it's
Do you
just put
guys-
some bait out for the womb. Come on.
He'll
Come
just
on.
like reach out and snatch it.
Come on.
Do you guys remember that TikTok trend a while ago that had dudes like dipping their balls in soy sauce?
No.
No,
Nope.
not at all.
That one flew right by me.
Might be
No,
why I'm not
I
on
swear to
TikTok.
God, I swear it was like 2020 or something.
Your algorithm was weird, dog.
No, dude, it was everywhere. So there was like this like TikTok going around of this guy being like, yeah, no, like there are like the same type of taste receptors that are on your tongue or like in your junk or whatever. And he's like, so, but it's like not as strong. So like if you dunk your balls in soy sauce, you can taste it in your mouth.
How many people did this?
Everybody believed him.
Hey, Aaron and DJ, what are the chances you are going to try this?
Zero,
Are
actually.
you sure? You promise?
No,
Probably
like,
zero.
DJ?
Yeah, I don't-
DJ?
I don't even own soy
No,
sauce.
so like literally
have
everybody
soy
did it, and I made my
not gonna-
ex boyfriend do it so I could test it. and it burned his balls a little bit.
Dip them.
So you just have to watch him do this.
Yeah, oh yeah.
She said she made him do it.
I made him do it.
I often wondered how you're still single. And I wondered longer. That's it.
Yeah.
There it is.
Who wants to be my boyfriend?
No.
Who wants to dunk your balls in soy sauce?
Somebody out
look
there.
at that smile, though.
Right, you're right. Somebody will do it.
That's true. That's probably someone's thing.
Like, we're going to get an email. I did it for you. I did it for Queen Bee.
I just get all these pictures of dudes dunking their junk in soy
all
sauce.
these quick videos. Yeah, your
If
TikTok's
that
gonna
happens,
fucking
will
blow
you
up.
send them to me, please?
Yes.
Thank you, guys. All of you.
I will forward them to you
Absolutely.
immediately. Expeditiously.
That sounds great. Thank you.
Do not send me ball
Got your back.
pics.
Put sesame seeds on them too. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll accept ball pics if they're dunked in soy sauce and covered in sesame seeds.
Ping.
Yeah, that's the ping sound effect right there.
We got it. Yep. We did it.
Okay. All right.
So mental illness.
Sorry, you make so off topic.
So mental illness dates back to forever, right? So forever and ever, mentally ill people were not treated the best, right? Just sort of throughout history, I think even now, people that have mental or even physical disabilities aren't exactly treated super well. So it's pretty easy to kind of understand, I guess, that I don't know. I'm getting stuck here for a second. 1 second.
Yeah, they did a lot of crazy stuff to people back then, and I think like a lot of it was
So like, yeah, go ahead.
the more I read about it, I think a lot of it was like a money grab because all the dumb reasons that they would commit people.
That's true too.
Like you could just pay to have somebody committed and be like, they're an idiot.
Like you don't want to divorce your wife or whatever. You can just like pay them.
I think Family Guy did a whole skit about it, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because they threw Joe in there because he was crippled. Quiet Marv because of a sex drive. Cleveland because he was black.
Yeah.
But like, I will say like some like mental institutions, I guess you could say were like a slight improvement over like what was happening to a lot of mentally ill people before those places existed.
Sort of.
Yeah,
Like-
that's true. But I think the numbers were more because, like, not only were they committing people for dumb reasons, they were also
But for
committing.
like actually mentally ill people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they were also committing a lot of immigrants, people who didn't speak English. They would literally just be like, what the fuck did you just say? Get on the boat, you know, and then send them to a
gibberish.
fucking institution, you know, because a little later we'll get into it because a lot of these places, most of those people probably didn't even have anything worth being committed for, you know.
True.
And some of these people would be committed for like years.
Well, like, I mean, clearly there was many people who were not supposed to be there that were there because they were clearly totally fine. They just had like the hiccups or whatever.
Well, and what was wild, you're either crazy or you're a witch. Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
But like what was wild is there's a lot of accounts, like once people started to realize that asylums really weren't good places for people, is that these crazy people, you know, we talked about idiots and people that truly had like schizophrenia and things like that, that they were all held in the same place using the same techniques, which, you know, you read and they say, oh, this is how mentally people were cared for. That shouldn't even be a term. Because hospitals, there, you know, asylums came later, like regular hospitals, they would essentially have an area for mentally ill people, but the care they're receiving is shackles on a wall, right? And they're really just meant to be cast out of society and held there until either they got their act together or, you know, something wild happened, like they died, or some dude, his intestines exploded when he was in
God.
Yeah, because he was chained up for so long that, you know, either he got bigger and grew out of his chain or whatever happened. There's a lot of wild stories about that.
horrific.
That's wild.
there's so many. Like if you really get into it and you really like look into some of the individual stories, it is so beyond fucked up.
It's horrific. It really is.
Like it's hard to read some of those things.
Yeah. And imagine being someone that really isn't, you know, your mind isn't really gone and you're you're just a little sad.
Well, that's like, so, okay. I know you wanted to talk about, what's her name? The journalist.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Nellie Bly. Yeah.
Yeah, Nellie Bly. So there's a American Horror Story season based on her, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a journalist who goes into a mental institution to kind of figure out what's going on there and like expose it. And it's kind of like she struggles with, you know, am I like going crazy in here because of the horrific mistreatment and all of the things that she's witnessing and all this other stuff.
Yeah, Nellie's was like late 1800s too, but because nobody had ever heard any like the bad shit, you know, because if someone's fucking crazy and telling the stories, like who gives a shit? You know?
They're like, oh, they're just making it up. They're crazy. They're an idiot.
But like,
They have hysteria.
yeah,
Right.
we'll get into Nellie probably in a little bit because I think we should probably talk about some of the crazier shit they did, like lobotomies.
Oh yeah.
Because these places were like meant to look nice, you know what I mean, to get funding. And they would get funding from rich families that were just sending people there and just to get rid of them, or you know, it's for whatever reason may be.
One rich family in particular we can talk about a
Yeah,
little bit later.
And people were able to make money off this by keeping these institutions open and basically treating the people who stayed there as prisoners by saving money, just like a prison. You know what I mean? You're not spending a lot of money to house somebody there, you know. And they would make these places look nice and presentable with gardens and, you know, walkways. Like,
Oh yeah,
every
some
time,
of the old asylums are like beautiful buildings.
yeah, every time I would ever see in a movie where someone goes to visit somebody in a psych ward, they always meet them outside, and everybody's in robes and everybody's walking around in this beautiful landscape, you know. And that was due to because some of the crazy shit they were doing, like lobotomies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was like a small symptom of that, you know.
Yeah, and since you mentioned lobotomies, we can at least give a little bit of what that is. I mean, most people probably have heard of them before, at least, because I mean, it's been in movies and pop culture forever, really. But this dude Antonio, Moniz,
Antonio,
he was Portuguese, so that's cool.
Real cool.
Yeah, that's cool. You know, Portuguese neurologist. It's kind of is telling of the times that because of his discovery, he actually did win a Nobel Prize for psychology or psychology and medicine in 1949.
Isn't that wild?
Well, like proper lobotomies when they first started, a lot of them worked. Like a lot of them were kind of people's like best option at the time.
Sure.
For like legitimately mentally ill or very depressed patients, lobotomies did help them. But like they also hurt a lot of people as well. But like majority, I think like they said 65% or something of his patients like improved and got better.
So what's interesting about calling it improved is really what lobotomies did is they made the caretaker's life easier, not necessarily the patient who became simply quieter and easier to deal with, because there were a lot of mentally ill people that were very angry and hard to deal with. And, you know, way back in the day, it was, okay, we just got to restrain them forever and ever because they're violent and they're going to hurt someone or themselves. But, you know, when lobotomies became a thing that were performed, it seemed like, oh, this is so successful.
There were
not
like,
necessarily.
The first patient, I forget her name, the first patient he ever did a lobotomy on, they talked to her and they were like, because she had all these phobias or whatever, right? She was like afraid to go outside. She was afraid of aging. She was like afraid of all these things. And she had really bad anxiety. And she was like depressed and all this other stuff. And then she had her lobotomy and she was like, they would ask her, they're like, are you happy? And she'd be like, yeah, I'm happy. I feel great. And it's like, she didn't have all those anxieties anymore because she no longer had her personality.
Right.
So yeah, she felt great because she didn't have those anxieties anymore. So like on the surface, it was like they are improving. They're getting better.
Right.
We call this an improvement. We call this like a success or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was hollow.
Before Antonio, I think they were doing it like a lot more conventionally. But Antonio kind of fucking kicked it up a notch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If that's what you want to call it. Sure.
Yeah. You know.
So what it does is actually it severs the connection from your of the frontal cortex of your brain, which, like you both just mentioned, essentially can make somebody easier to deal with. The problem with that is, if you are a woman with an opinion, you can be made easier to deal with with a lobotomy.
Like, did you make this bread? Kind of hard.
Like, this roast kind of burnt. Like, oh, you want to vote? Sounds like it needed a lobotomy.
Could you imagine changing up a recipe? Like, oh, I just thought this might be fun. Like,
I just
something
add a little
different.
extra
It's just
garlic.
It's like Betty Crocker didn't tell you to do that, did she?
You lost your mind.
You must be crazy.
By the way, go back and listen to our episode about Betty Crocker. Anyways,
Yeah, I was saying Betty
That was a good
Crocker would
one.
never. She would never steer you wrong.
right. Because if you get steered wrong, lobotomized.
Yes, exactly.
So, during the 40s and 50s is when, after Antonio did make quote unquote improvements, is when there was a large spike in the amount of lobotomies that were performed. During that time period, around 20,000 were done, and a lot of those were
Yeah,
good things.
because like people before Antonio, like a lot of German surgeons and stuff like that were doing like, they were like cutting, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Antonio was drilling 2 fucking holes in your head and then pouring alcohol in there.
Hey, man.
It's like
Sometimes just need a drink.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like he was like, you know what? I think this might work, and he just shakes your fucking head after he pours a
Making
bottle of
cocktails
fucking
and shit.
rubbing alcohol. Like he's making a fucking. He's making a fucking old fashioned.
Would you add some bitters in there?
Right. Yes, a little spinal fluid, a little bitters.
But this is like what you were saying. He had a lot of success because this would, like you were saying, made people more calm. It made someone act like a child again.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you're resetting a human brain.
Just brought them all the way the fuck back down.
They literally found the brain's reset button and poked it with a fucking pick.
Like hard. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, ping, reset,
and then,
try it again.
And then poured some shit and just fucking shook it around.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
Go over and make cocktails. The problem with this is a lot of it was obviously used for doing bad, doing evil to many people. So if you look at a lot of the cases in the United Kingdom, a lot of these people were that were lobotomized were gay men trying to fix an issue that doesn't exist. You know,
You don't want to pray the gay away, huh?
Shake the gay away.
we have this ice pick. Gonna stab your brain with it.
Options.
Yeah.
Right. You ever heard of electrocution?
It's okay if you don't believe in God. It's cool. No worries.
It wasn't even that. It was just like, hey, you like other men? We got something for you. Sit in this chair.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, like if they pray the gay away, like if they didn't want.
Oh yeah, that's shit, man.
Okay. Well,
we live in
You're
Indiana.
not the
That was
church-going type.
you know.
No problem.
We got you.
yeah.
We got a solution.
There was that whole thing with Indiana too, where they were using electroshock therapy to cure, quote unquote, cure gay people.
Yeah.
In this state, actually, it was going on for quite some time.
Oh, I believe that. 100%.
It was. I think it actually might still be a thing somewhere in the South.
I mean, no, like recently.
Like not that long ago.
Like there was a story in the news like a couple of years ago or something. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem. Stop trying to cure people that don't need to be cured. They're fine.
Yeah, right.
There's not a
God.
problem with it. They're just happier than you are. Oh, miserable ass bitch.
But being jealous.
Yeah, quit being miserable and blaming other people for it. Anywho, we love our gay people. We really do.
Yes, we do.
So anyways, moving forward from that, in 1951, they actually did find out that 6% of the people that received lobotomies in America were women.
Of course.
So back to the joke I was making earlier, like, oh, you uppity, oh, she wants to vote. What do I do? Lobotomy.
Lobotomy.
Like, she has an opinion
Let's
about
just
something.
turn her brain into scrambled eggs. She'll be fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
I imagine.
Because at that point, you can reprogram the woman of your dreams. Damn near.
Yeah.
Like, which is
Like
nuts.
silent and doesn't have a mind of her own and
Yeah.
sits there and doesn't do anything.
You could just pay the
she
money
looks
and,
good. Yeah.
you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Real
Anyway.
depressing.
Speaking of,
So this also was true in Ontario, where they found that between 48 and 52, 74% of them were women as well. The funny thing I noticed about this, though, is the Soviet Union got rid of it first, which is real weird. Like, the communists got something right? That's not
They
right.
probably needed like their women
Yeah.
for something else.
yeah,
I feel like they just
They're like-
replaced it with something worse.
they're like, they're like,
like-
we don't need lobotomies. We just send the women out to fight the bears.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Obviously.
It's
Have you seen
something
Babushkas?
weird. Yeah.
Terrifying.
They're like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
we
that's-
actually just kill them. We don't even.
That's what
we
happened,
don't even
though.
waste money.
Some scientist was like, oh yeah, lobotomies, and his babushka was like, listen, boy,
Boy.
no.
Yes, that actually adds up. Like, let's not lobotomize them. Just send them to Siberia. It's fine. And the last one that was performed in the United States was in 67, actually. So
That's
not
pretty
that long
wild.
ago.
That's
No,
literally
yeah.
that's the year my mom was born.
That's crazy.
Oof.
Yeah,
Your mom is young.
she is 56.
I'm not good at math.
Neither am
There's
I.
There's a hospital in the U.S. that I was reading about, kind of same statistics where, and they wouldn't name the hospital, which I thought was interesting, but 84% of the lobotomies were performed on women, despite the fact, and I'm sure most of the hospitals, that most of the patients were men, and most of the schizophrenia diagnosis, which is like why they lobotomized people in this hospital, were men. And I guess they were questioned about this at one time. And so there's like a report that says, somebody said, well, we do this to maintain order in the hospital. And other reasons included like why a woman would be lobotomized is that they had no interest in childcare, and they had strange behavior. And so you just kind of wonder what? You know what I mean?
Yeah, strange behavior was them saying no to a
And
man.
then the interviewer was like, "No, really, why did you really
I
give her
hate
the
that.
lobotomy?"
It's like
I
a
wanted
guy
to wear
taking.
pants.
It's like a guy taking his car to get fixed. He's like, I don't know, it's making a weird noise.
Yes.
Like, just,
Like she's like start
fuck it.
talking.
Yeah, just fix it.
Oh
You
my
know?
Like she well, I just don't understand why you listen to my problem. See that noise? It's
Yeah.
making that noise.
It's
What
doing
is
it again.
that?
Let's do the thing again.
What is it?
What is it?
This is horrible.
Oh, I love it though.
She's quiet. He's like, it always stops making the noise when I bring it in.
When I bring it in. Yeah, right.
You're embarrassing me in front of the doctor.
In front of the nice men in their white coats.
Right.
You know, the last lobotomy they actually did was as early as 1967.
Yeah.
That's
Just.
wild.
I just said that, yeah.
Did you? Fuck
Yes.
me, dude.
Remember, I said my mom was born that year.
Oh, I drifted off during that one. Jesus
Stop
Christ.
smoking so much, man.
Welcome
Goddamn.
back. Welcome back.
Right. Welcome back to the chat.
I think it's because I didn't smoke.
That
I
is
mean,
weird.
I hit this fucking thing, but
Hit it again.
that's-
Yeah, you should probably do another one.
Like right now.
One more time.
Jesus.
We
One more
need
time.
you back.
Smoke.
Hey, easy.
It's that weird, like when you take your break from smoking. I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Oh.
Oh, I'm sober. That's weird.
Hell yeah.
So you guys, there was another thing that they did before lobotomies that was kind of similar, and it
Okay.
was called trephination. And that's cutting out a hole in your skull. And the reason they did this is so long ago that it was to hopefully release demons that would
Yes.
help resolve your headaches and cure any sort of like mental illness that you had. But I, another interesting thing is that like way back then, like, the demon thing was a huge reason that people were crazy, right?
Sure.
But beyond that, there was this big, like, in the medical world was that you had too much black bile in your body or an imbalance of something in your blood, basically.
Yeah,
and
it's
so
like
they
bloodletting.
would,
Yeah.
bloodletting, purging, vomiting,
Leeches.
Yeah. So anything to get the gross out of you from any part of your body. I didn't realize that purging was taking laxatives.
I mean,
So you can shit
shit.
it out. Shit it out.
tummy tea.
That sucks.
I just want you to know
Oh,
that I have
wow.
like
Still a
no
thing.
demons.
Wasn't that
in my
killing
body.
people?
Yeah, it certainly was. Because people were just like having diarrhea for
That's
several
crazy.
days straight.
So they're dying of dysentery?
Yeah,
Like
pretty
we're
much.
fucking playing the Oregon
Like
Trail?
we're on the Oregon Trail. Yeah.
Jeez.
You can thank Kim Kardashian for that one.
Oregon Trail comes up so much, I feel like,
It does, yeah.
just
Well,
in life.
I feel
Yeah.
like I feel like dysentery comes up a lot too. So like we end up talking about that, and then we're like, oh, Oregon
Don't
Trail.
you just have to like eat an orange to cure dysentery?
That's
or
scurvy.
something?
That's scurvy.
I might have
Yeah.
learned that on this podcast.
Yeah, I think we talked about it at least a few times
Probably.
when we talked about pirates.
See, you guys make a difference in my life.
I'm happy to hear that.
It's
True.
Oh, yeah.
That makes me glad.
We do something right. The rest of it's a fucking failure.
Sorry.
I mean, honestly, like I would fact check anything we say, but
I think we do pretty good research,
I'm not
actually.
gonna.
Like I think we do our due
speak for
diligence.
yourself.
Okay, I will then. I do pretty good fucking research then. I do my due diligence.
I mean, okay, I believe you.
Damn it.
I don't believe me.
Fair enough. I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to respond to that actually. Yeah, let's carry on.
I just enjoy listening to the voices. I don't really care what the message is. I'm like, okay, cool.
Just there to keep you company.
Yeah, every once in a while I think of something and I'm like, oh yeah, that was fun. You know?
Yeah, I think we've said that many times. If you are looking for a historically accurate podcast, you have came to the wrong show.
Yeah.
We like to have fun. We like to give some information. If you want to read the book, go buy the fucking book. If you want to listen to somebody read it on a podcast, there's a lot of podcasts that do that. There's so many podcasts that give you detailed, factual information in 3-4 hour long episodes.
Yeah, I can't do that, man. People get bored.
We're here to punch you in the gut with some funny.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the information we give is, I think, at least factual. But if you want to learn more, they can do that on their own.
I mean, like, we do try to keep it pretty, like, fact. We're not out here trying to, like, spew misinformation or anything.
Yeah, we don't do that here.
But, yeah, we do kind of be like,
We like to fuck around.
this really fucking funny thing, you know?
We like to fuck around, you know.
Lobotomies, am I right?
Lobotomies.
I'm like behind you guys. I gotta catch up.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, join us in tea time.
So I want to talk about a real specific hospital unless somebody wants to talk about something else first.
No,
Oh, no,
yeah,
go ahead.
go ahead.
I was gonna talk about. I can talk about Rosemary Kennedy after you
Yeah, whatever you
talk
want.
about the hospital.
Let's go.
Well,
So there
what,
was-
what,
yeah.
what year are you getting into?
We are, somewhere between 1400 and 1800.
Ooh, fuck yeah. Let's do it.
Yep. Yep.
All right.
So there is a very famous, this is for you.
Oop.
Thanks for your help, DJ.
Got it. Yeah, really.
If,
Thanks
if I
for-
do anything like closer to this, it's
Thanks
going to be
for the
bad for
help
everybody.
from the two guys who are in between us.
My
arms
hand was
than
right
us.
here. My hand was literally right there
That's
trying
the
to go for
important
it.
thing. Oh, was it?
Yes.
Sorry, my eyes don't see that far. I have a
Jeez.
hat on.
She's got her hat hammock.
My hat.
But yes, I literally was reaching forward as you were doing that. I'm like, okay, I guess you got it. That's cool.
I was concentrated because look at all of these drinks near me. See this elbow? It's sharp.
Yep.
Anyways, so there was this hospital founded in London.
Okay.
London was wild. This was in 1247, and it was called the Bethlehem Hospital. A lot of people may have heard of Bedlam as a hospital, and it did come to be known as that, but it was the Bethlehem Hospital. So it's the oldest psychiatric hospital and has operated continuously for over 600 years. That's a really long time.
Wow.
And it went through some shit. So the fact that it wasn't closed down is crazy. But originally it was created back in 1247 as a house for the poor. There were tons of places like that I believe they were called almhouses that kind of turned into asylums or places to hold mentally ill people. So this hospital in particular, the first record of having insane people in this hospital was in 1403. So there was a group called the Charity Commissioners, which Google doesn't give me a direct answer on what these people were, but it seems like they, since it was like a public place, they had to go and make sure that they were doing the right thing so they could give them money for these poor people, so they had food and things like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So on their first visit, they did note that there were 4 pairs of shackles, 11 chains, 6 locks, and 2 pairs of stocks. Do you know what stocks are?
This thing.
Yeah, and it was for their
Oh,
legs.
that sucks.
So they locked up their legs. But this was all found in this hospital, and that's how they cared for the mentally ill.
That's so fucked.
Yeah. So the bedlam that we talked about was coined in the 14th century, and it meant the corruption of Bethlehem because things did get really, really bad and gross and terrible. Even the mayor of London back in 1450, he knew about the place and what's up?
Now, so you were talking about that hospital reminding me of something?
Yeah.
So Bedlam or Bethlehem Hospital that you're talking about
Yeah.
was in an Assassin's Creed game.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
So I'm like, wait a minute, this sounds really familiar. They call it Lambeth Hospital in the game, but on my desk sounds so familiar. It has to be the same
that's
thing.
awesome.
Yeah,
And it
so I
is.
just did on a fucking search. I'm like, down a rabbit hole. That was in a video game.
I watched you like, hell yeah, I'm right. And I was like, I gotta know.
Well, I saw it like you say something and then immediately he's like, and then his fingers start
I know,
going.
and I was
I'm
getting
"You
real
thought of
scared. I was like,
something."
I don't think I'm wrong. Dude.
No.
don't
You're
think
nailing
so.
it. You're definitely nailing it. It's just, yeah, that's totally what it was based on. So yeah,
That's a badass fact, though. I like it.
yeah.
Yeah. So the mayor of London, 1450, he speaks to the hospital as being full of men who have lost their wit, and goes on to say that many of them should be kept there forever due to the severity of their illnesses. There's a little glimmer of hope in what he says, where he states that some should be restored to health. I don't believe that was ever anybody's goal, to make these people better. However, some did. Some did get better and some did leave this hospital, which is great.
Well, there were probably some people who were like of sound mind enough to like fake it and be like, I'm fine, I swear.
But it makes you wonder, because of the way that they treated these patients. They were essentially prisoners, because this was not like a place to care for people, right, that were actually sick. It was to kind of keep them stowed away from society. And it's like, oh my God, like how did some people even get out of there? And that's not really anything easy to find information on, but yeah. So anyways, a little bit later, in the 16th and 17th century, the hospital ended up being run by a board of governors that didn't exactly make it any better. The hospital itself was actually built over a sewer that, aided the hospital and then the surrounding areas. And it was regularly blocked. I'm sure the sewage system was awesome back then.
Yeah.
I'm sure it smelled great.
It would seep through the floors. And so these people who were chained to walls and floors with their feet in wooden thingies, that they had to sit in that. It was really gross. So if that gives you an idea kind of what the conditions were like and how they were treated, I mean, that's worse, than anything I can think of. But in the late 1500s and early 1600s, there were actual reports on this hospital that did report things like that it was very filthy. Inmates were starving. Apparently, stewards would steal food and then try to basically sell it to the patients or eat it themselves.
Oh, my God.
But again, just totally wild stuff, right? And then this was a public hospital. So in the late 16th century, you were talking about money. They had to figure out how to raise money, right? How do we stay open? How do we deal with all of these mentally ill people that are being sent to us? And so what they did was they allowed the public for a ticket price to come and look at these people, and they were a tourist attraction. So come Christmas time, right? And I don't know if it wasn't actually Christmas, but during holiday times, families would buy tickets to go to this hospital and entertain themselves by watching them. A lot of them would get very angry because you're staring at me, and what do you do?
Something funny.
No, it's exactly what it was.
Horrible.
Which was fucking insane.
Hey, aren't you a lunatic?
Right.
Do something loony.
Do something crazy.
Do something crazy. And they start twerking.
He's like, hey.
Four Locos everywhere. Yeah.
Oh, no.
No, it was crazy. But
He's like, does a keg stand.
yeah, why not? But yeah, so then so that was crazy. And eventually so it was almost a good thing for these people, and I don't mean to put it like that, but what happened was I think it was the governor ended up stopping this, right? Like, okay, we can't do this anymore. Stop doing this. The only way they would allow an outside person to come in and visit the hospital was they had to have like a signed, I don't know if it's a ticket or like a permission slip from the governor that said, okay, you're allowed in here, right? But without the public having their eyes on these people, they were then treated poorly again. I mean, not that that's not poor treatment, right? But being abused and really terrible conditions and things like that it's out of the public eye now.
That's true, because like if people were truly like suffering and in horrific conditions, if you've got the public seeing it, there's more of a chance of someone being like, hey, this is a little fucked up, guys.
Right.
But
yeah. Or at least they were kept alive and not starving, I guess. I mean, again, where's the light?
Yeah, like a family of four walks in and there's just like a dead guy on the floor.
Yeah, can't do that. Can't do that. I don't know though. Didn't they go to public hangings and shit back then? Like,
Well, those were
probably
criminals.
would've liked it.
Well,
Were
they probably
Quote unquote.
they probably thought of these people as like the same kind of
Could be,
as
yeah.
criminals.
Like they probably sold a stick to poke the dead body.
Yeah.
Ooh, probably.
Like for one straw penny.
Souvenir
You could
sticks.
poke
Yeah,
that
like
dead body.
to
Poke the
thing.
dead body.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus
That'd be one
Christ.
quid.
So, just to kind of wrap that little thing up, there was a man named Edward Wakefield. And this man was a Quaker who advocated for lunacy reform. He visited Bedlam several times. In fact, he wasn't allowed in a few times because the people who worked at this hospital were like, we're going to get in trouble. Don't let him in, right? So in 1814, he tried a couple of attempts to enter this hospital and eventually was able to get inside so that he could inspect the conditions of the people, of the building itself. And he revealed a lot of what was happening inside. The findings basically promoted a campaign for national lunacy reform. Gradually, there was something called moral management of patients that was adopted. And moral management sounds really nice, and it was intended to be where you treat people nicer. DJ, you were talking about all the movies you've seen where they meet people outside, and it seems so nice.
Yeah, like whenever somebody's like visiting somebody at a psych ward in a movie,
it's like this
always
beautiful
outside.
garden
Yeah,
outside.
the garden.
But you know what?
Yeah.
Moral management created those, so that really was a thing. And
Yeah, I remember reading something about how like they thought that like a beautiful and calm, peaceful like landscape and buildings would help people with their mental health.
yeah,
So that started being like promoted more.
there's like a whole like this is, and I'll find it somewhere, but there was, I think his name was Thomas Kirkbride. He actually created what the building itself, like how it should be laid out and operated. Where before that, moral management did come from Europe to America, of just treating people humanely. Now, it was a great idea, but eventually these hospitals, even though they then built asylums, which were specifically for mentally ill people, right? They then adopted this moral management system, but then they would get overcrowded and they got stressed out and overwhelmed. And guess what? Now it's back to, we got to restrain them. We got to chain them up.
Yeah.
Too many people. We can't handle this. So again, it was a great idea. It just didn't exactly end well. Now, Thomas Kirkbride, we talked about how he was the one that was like, this is what the building should be. He also made a rule that you cannot have more than 250 people in any asylum or mental hospital to basically combat that, right? So he was a cool dude. And to your point, they had the long wings so that there was sunshine coming through the windows and gardens and maybe they had fancy robes. I don't know, but
They're usually just like wearing white like hospital gowns kind of in movies and stuff.
yeah. My one last thing about Bedlam.
Like slippers.
yeah.
That's the whole thing of getting fuzzy socks or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
The grippy socks.
The grippy
Yeah,
socks.
grippy socks. Yeah. But the last thing about Bedlam is that there were many patients that were eventually cured at Bedlam, but they relapsed during the winter months because they needed a place to stay. They were mostly homeless people, and that's still an
True.
issue today, right? So you're either, homeless or in prison so that you can get the mental health that you need. So that's what I got about Bedlam.
Wow.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Sorry.
And it's so funny because like you see the parallels between like how things were back then and how they still are now. Like how treatment can like improve a little bit, but then, like during COVID, a lot of like the nursing homes and places like this got really overcrowded and then care started suffering again. And, a lot of these places that exist today are still like shitty.
Yeah.
like really shitty. So, but anyway, I know we had spoken a little bit about lobotomies earlier. And I mean, I don't know if you guys knew about it or not, but Rosemary Kennedy actually had a lobotomy.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. So Rosemary Kennedy, if you even know that she existed, because she was kind of hidden away by the Kennedy family, she was the eldest Kennedy daughter. So she was John F. Kennedy's sister. She was born September 13th, 1918. She had a little bit of a rough start. She was born, oh my God, this crazy thing happened, which was so fucked also, which was basically like, she was born during like the Spanish influenza epidemic. And so like there was a shortage of doctors. So when her mother was giving birth to her, the nurses were like, there's no doctor. You have to keep that baby in. And she's like,
what?
How do you do that?
excuse me. So she will like for hours like tried to hold the baby in her birth canal, and so that ended up like restricting her oxygen and causing her like some developmental delays.
Sure.
So she was like, you know, she had like some legitimate challenges when she was first born. She was a little bit of a wild child of the Kennedy family. So like she did have her deficits. She wasn't super great at school, but she also had seizures, which was another thing. But she was very social. She was very social. She was very kind. She loved poetry. She loved, you know, hanging out late at like clubs with people and just being like, she was in her 20s at this point. So she's like,
oh, sure.
Yeah. So she's like, you know, a young, rich 20-something-year-old girl. And she's, you know, hanging out, smoking cigarettes, having a good time.
She sounds cool.
Yeah. She sounds super cool. And, you know, she was opinionated too. Like she was not afraid to speak her mind, which, as we have learned here today,
Don't do that. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. So the Kennedys clearly saw this as a problem and as a threat to their perfect, pristine public image and John F. Kennedy's run for president, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're like, Rosemary, we cannot have her running around doing all kinds of things, ruining our image. Johnny over here trying to run for president. We can't have this. So they sent her to live with the nuns.
I knew that. Of
course.
Yeah.
So they sent her to live with the nuns. She was with the nuns. And then the nuns are like, this bitch having sex.
Mm-hmm. Out here getting
She's
dick.
having sex. We know it. She's sneaking out and having sex.
You know it. You smell it.
Oh my God.
We can smell the sin on you.
Smell that shit.
She's a whore.
We can smell the sin. We also see it on your dress. Clean yourself up.
See it. I smell it.
And she's like, fuck you guys. Fuck you nuns. You know?
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, nice cigarette drag.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
I imagine the filter with like a Virginia Slim.
Oh,
yeah.
She was rich.
Like
She
the
was
long-
fancy.
Yeah.
She was rich. That's the
Yeah.
chance.
So, and she like dressed really nice too. Like if you guys look up pictures of her, I'll put some on social, but she was very pretty. She was very pretty and she dressed really well and she looked like a good time. So anyway, the nuns kicked her out. They're like, she's out here banging dudes. We can't have it. So her father is like, all right, what do I do with her? She's gonna ruin our family image. So what he does without telling anybody, not even Rosemary's mother, not even his own wife, took her to get a lobotomy.
That's fucked.
Yep. So they lobotomized her, and the story is kind of fucked because they talk about how like they were asking her to like sing and make jokes and recite poetry while they were doing the lobotomy. And then once her speech kind of slowed and stopped, that's when they knew they were done.
Yeah.
Like he's fucking trying to find a radio station.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Jesus, DJ.
Basically.
That was dark, man.
He's like, oh,
And
there
then
you
it's
go.
just like static, and he's like, that's it. That's where it is.
Got it.
Got it.
That's crazy because,
I know.
like, I knew about the nun thing because I know a little bit about her story.
Yeah.
Because the Kennedys themselves are so fucked.
Oh my God, I know.
So fucked.
Yeah.
Like, they're worried about her embarrassing them while you have one of his brothers making deals with the mafia and shit. That's why he got his head blown off. And his brother got his head blown off. You know, it's actually probably like she avoided getting her head taken off.
Well, they say, people say that the Kennedy curse is because of what
They did, yeah.
their father did to her.
Yeah, that's wild.
You know, because so once she was lobotomized, she was basically, well, they say it was a botched lobotomy. So like it went farther than it was supposed to. So she was reduced to the mental capacity of a 2-year-old. She could no longer stand. She could no longer speak. She could no longer really do anything for herself. She was kind of a vegetable at this point. So they stuck her in a mental institution and left her there. And she literally did not come out until I don't know, late 70s or something.
Probably when the institutions closed.
Yeah.
That's
so,
fucked.
So the family started like visiting her a little bit after their father died, and they would visit her now and again, and then they finally brought her back out into the public eye in like the 70s, 80s or something. But like there's literally no pictures or footage of Rosemary Kennedy from the time she was like 22 to the time she was like in her 60s.
That's
And that's what
wild.
those places were for, man. It was just to kind of erase you from
And that's
society.
exactly what they did with her.
which is crazy for them to be so in the public eye, and it's just wild.
and like get away with something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Man, I would
So.
definitely curse him.
Yeah.
if I
Oh,
was
yeah.
her.
So that's what people say, you know, the Kennedy curse is because of what they did to
Yeah.
Rosemary.
Well, let's make it happy for a second. Do you want to know another nun fact about this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was this one guy that concluded that sexual deprivation was often the cause of hysteria in women, obviously. And his greatest example was that there was a nun who was diagnosed with hysteria, and she only became cured when a barber took it upon himself to pleasure her.
Well, that was a treatment at one point, wasn't it?
It was.
I forgot what it was called.
It was like clinical orgasms is what they would give
Yeah.
women.
It was really like that was a part of it. And there's like an argument, but not exactly. It's not like 100% true that like that's where vibrators came from. But they did have like vibrators that essentially were to like you could be prescribed a massage, but it wasn't necessarily your vagina, right? Yeah. So you were prescribed a massage with these vibrators essentially, but guess what happens when you put it between your legs? It's quite nice.
All of a sudden, you're not so mad at your husband anymore.
No, you're like, wow, why do I feel so much better?
You're like, I'm okay. I can handle this.
I think I'm going to do some dishes. I'm going to do the dishes. Yeah.
By the way, so I was just thinking about this when you're talking about the thing with the Kennedys, because I was remembering something about the dad, because you mentioned, obviously, he's a piece of shit. But I'm like, wait, he's a piece of shit. That's true, because of the whole thing with his daughter, obviously. But he was a piece of shit before that.
Oh, yeah.
He's a fucking Nazi.
Yep.
No.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, there's something about him with World War II. He was an ambassador who got fired,
He was
obviously.
cutting deals.
Yeah, he tried to get England to surrender to Germany.
Shut the
He was a fascist.
F up.
Yep.
Yeah, he was a fucking Nazi.
How come that's not like more common knowledge?
Because he was
super
rich.
weird.
Because
Yeah,
he was
well,
rich
yeah,
as fuck.
okay, yeah. That's been the whole argument.
Right, like,
Joseph Kennedy, look him up. He's a douchebag.
yeah, it's a total douchebag.
Fuck you, Joe.
But yeah, this dude was such a piece of shit. Like he was a Nazi. Then you have like I said, like he's rich as fuck, so who cares?
Yeah.
Well, that's why the history doesn't care about it. But the same thing with Ford and how much money he gave to Hitler. Nobody talks about it. Yeah. The most American fucking car. Yeah, that asshole.
Wow.
I heard he was an asshole too for like other reasons.
Well, yeah, there's more than just that, of course. But
Yeah.
he was a white man who was rich in the fucking.
I mean, they were all assholes. Let's be real. Let's be real here. You cannot be a rich white man in like the early 1900s and not be an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This whole time I've been trying to picture like JFK saying the word lobotomy,
Oh my God.
and it's hilarious.
Can't say much now,
No,
anyways.
that's good. Oh,
Yeah.
that's good. Who do we know
I don't know
that
if I
can
could
do an
pull that off.
impression?
I don't know. We're gonna work on this.
Lobotomy.
That was pretty good.
Not bad.
That was
Oh, that's
decent.
pretty
That was
Not bad.
It's like
You got to
saying-
go hard with the bottomy. I feel like I got to do it harder.
Yeah.
You know.
Go
Can you try one more
workshop it.
time?
Yeah, because like
Well-
the Boston accent, you know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like hard
Yep.
or what's another Boston word that's weird
Park
to say?
the car in the
Cat.
yard.
The car.
Car.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Do like
the
Mark.
cat,
Do
not
like
the
Mark
cat.
Wahlberg saying lobotomy.
And go.
I feel like it's got to be more whiny if it's Mark Wahlberg. like lobotomy.
Oh, that's
No.
pretty good too.
I'll get it. I'll work on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You
Go
gotta,
back-
you
go back
gotta
to us.
sound
Let's
like
see.
flabbergasted about something. You gotta be going like
The
this.
voice cracks a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you move your arms a lot, that might help you.
Yeah.
Try it. Oh my God.
That's
Yeah.
good stuff.
But anyway, yeah, it was really, really fucking sad. What happened to poor Rosemary? Just for being
Yeah.
being a good time.
I got a story too, if you guys want to hear.
Please.
Yeah.
Cool story. So we briefly talked about Nellie Bly. So this was in the 1800s, 1864 to be exact. And she was born in 1864. I'm sorry. She was a writer for the Pittsburgh Dispatcher. She was writing anonymous responses to misogynistic things in papers. That's how she got cut her teeth basically.
Hell yeah.
So she would start off with the Pittsburgh Dispatch, and it got picked up writing articles that were supposed to be positive for women, empowering women, things like that. She eventually made her way to New York around 1987 to write for Joseph Pulitzer.
Pulitzer Prize guy?
That seems like a big deal.
Exactly. Yeah. So, at this time, in the 1800s, to be a woman journalist in New York City working for Pulitzer, you got to do whatever the fuck your first story.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
wild.
Got to be fucking crazy. So,
Imagine how she was treated.
Nope.
oh god,
Nope.
yeah.
I'm good.
Just like the sandwich lady,
Yeah, pretty much.
forever.
I wonder how many times her ass got slapped.
Probably all
Oh
the
god,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
She just walks into work and she's like, all right, have at it.
She just shows her tits. Like, I'm getting it over with.
Yeah.
I'm going to go write something.
It seems like it, honestly, the type of lady she is. So everybody at that time was hearing rumors of this asylum on Blackwell Island. That was having all these weird rumors of stuff that we've been talking about for the past hour, of abuse and torture and lobotomies and shit like that. So they basically gave her first assignment. They said, we want you to go undercover.
Like, hey,
get yourself
you're
committed.
You're a woman. You can get in there, right?
Right.
Right.
I mean, honestly, like she was writing articles about women empowerment. That's already taken in.
Yeah. I feel like they tried to get her, like they tried to set her up and it backfired.
They're like, who in here?
They were just like, we're gonna get a lobotomized. She'll come back.
So dope.
She'll be making fucking sandwiches like no other.
Sandwiches.
Jeez.
So yeah, she was going to commit herself for 10 days. She was going to take, so her name isn't Nellie Bly. She was born Elizabeth Cochran. Nellie Bly was like her pseudonym, something that she was going to use as a writer and everything like that. So she basically commits herself as a Portuguese like refugee who has showing signs of like amnesia, basically. Mm-hmm. That's all it took to get committed.
Wow.
I mean, she probably didn't even have to go that far.
She said, I no remember. No.
Oh my God.
Like, you're in.
Like, she just walks to the front door, they look at her like, yeah, you got it.
Yeah. She didn't even have to say anything.
Right.
It's like a bouncer when he doesn't check your ID.
Yeah.
He's like, you're good. Don't worry about it.
That was women in the insane asylum.
Yeah, women get in for free.
Like, all right, come on.
Yeah, so she gets committed, and basically she like prepared for this. She was like, I gotta act fucking crazy, to get committed to this place, And she quickly finds out when she gets there that she doesn't have to do that.
Because like half the people in there are not crazy.
Yeah, right.
Half the people in there were actually other immigrants who just got picked up along the way and just committed because they couldn't speak English.
Yeah.
They
must be dumb and crazy.
Yeah. And she actually found out the more sane she acted, the crazier they thought she was.
That is that's like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah. Real fucking crazy, So she made friends with the people that were there after realizing, like, holy fuck, what's going on? But she's got to get the story.
Yeah.
She's got to do 10 days. And Pulitzer had basically promised her, he was like, we're going to get you out. Not going to leave you there.
Yeah, that would scare the shit out of me.
With his finger behind his back. Like,
First of all, like that would be so fucking scary because it's like who can you like legitimately count on to get you out of a place like that?
Exactly.
It has to be someone so not her fucking husband.
Because if they didn't want to, they would just forget about it. They would just leave her in there.
They could.
She wasn't married.
Was she?
There's
married?
no fucking way.
I don't know, actually.
It sounded like she had an opinion.
Exactly. So there's no way.
She had a roommate that she was really close with.
Oh, right.
Right. They were really good friends, according to the historians.
Oh, jeez.
So some of the conditions she had to go under were pretty bad right off the jump. Taking cold showers where they were literally just bringing buckets of cold water and dumping it onto you, almost to the point where like they're waterboarding you.
Jeez.
Eating fucking rotten food,
Yeah, one of them was like bread with rancid butter.
Yeah. Just all types of like the worst conditions you can think of. Like imagine like bathing 45 patients and cleaning them with the same towel using like some of the same water.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like this guy's just wiping his junk and then he hands it to you.
Hey, what year was this again?
They were in 1887.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So
he's like drying off his ass and he's like, here you go. Your turn.
So, I mean, all of these things are just like where they would make them like sit down on a bench and not speak for like 12 hours at a time, or they would make them lie down in their room, silence, like, just weird psychological shit, mistreating of them, So she did the 10 days and she had all types of stuff to write about. Sexual abuse, patients, like basically being stuck, like fire hazards. Like they said, there's no way for people to escape because the only way to get in some of these rooms that would house 45 women at a time was to be manually unlocked from the outside. You couldn't get outside the windows. You couldn't get outside the anything. There was just so many.
And they had no like automatic like locking mechanism that would just unlock everything.
Yeah.
It was all
like they do
manual.
now, right?
Yeah, and it was all there were bars on all of the windows, so there was like if there was a fire, they were fucked.
Yeah, dead. Yeah.
And like I said, a lot of these people were immigrants. A lot of these people were committed simply because they had families that wanted them committed or because they were poor. And this is where they went to get food and shelter.
Yep.
You know? So she goes to the 10 days. She makes it out and gets the fuck just beat out of her, you know, just completely pulverized. But she's got this amazing fucking story to write about it. And this is kind of when it exploded, where people are like, yo, what?
This isn't cool.
Like, what the fuck's going on? So she's got this whole story about Blackwell Island. She brings it to Pulitzer. Pulitzer's like, this is fucking amazing. We're going to publish it. They publish the story. They got, 2 fucking front page sections just describing all the stuff I just described to you now in a little bit more detail, The problem was when this got so much attention that it got like, okay, now we got to investigate this, They didn't get to the asylum for 30 days.
Oh, of course.
So they had time to clean it up.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they had ample time to upgrade everything, clean it up, give everybody food, make it look, and actually
Fatten up the starving ones a little bit.
Right.
And in that 30-day span, they were able to get $1 million funded to them. Just to help out through this through various people who they were already getting support from because like I said, there was a lot of rich people who were just dumping people there,
Yeah.
So they were able to
They're calling up the Kennedys, like, hey guys.
If you want your wife to stay here or your daughter, like you gotta give us more money.
Yeah.
we need a little bit.
They're about to show. I don't know if you've seen that article.
Yeah, right. We only need enough for a month. That's
30
days. Yeah, so that's what they did basically. Now, this wasn't like her last thing. Like Bly ended up doing a lot of cool things in publishing. She did like crazy shit, like travel around the world in 80 days type shit. You know what I mean?
Jesus.
Yeah, she went on to do all kinds of crazy stuff like that.
She sounds like a badass.
And she was basically the stepping stone in for getting these psych wards like to actual change. Now, she kind of lost the battle with Blackwell, but it didn't stop there, It only opened the first door, because she's only one woman journalist, so this just kind of kept happening more and more. So, yeah, it was a nice little something.
Her and Rosemary Kennedy probably would have got along.
Could you imagine the trouble they'd get in? I love it.
They like in the same asylum.
So much cocaine.
Good times.
Man.
Yeah.
If anyone's interested too in that story, there's a movie about it. I think Christina Ricci is in it. And then there's also, is it Christina Ricci? I don't remember exactly who plays her. I think it's Christina Ricci. But then there's also a season of American Horror Story that is like loosely based on her story.
Interesting.
And it's really fucked. It's like one of the most fucked up seasons. Well, in my opinion.
I've never watched the show, but that's tight.
Me neither. I need to.
But that's tight.
Yeah.
Christina Ricci is going to be at Comic-Con this year.
Is she really?
Wild. Shit.
And we're going this
That's
year,
what
right?
I'm talking about.
Yeah, I already got tickets for it. Well, I got tickets for us, but like.
See how they leave me out of everything?
I'm so sorry.
All right, we do this every year. We've been doing this every year for the past like 3 years.
And every year I'm like, what the hell, guys?
Yeah, I got the tickets in my room actually.
I'm just
sure
reading.
You fucking do.
I'm just reading now. So she actually recreated the trip depicted in the book Around the World in 80 Days.
Oh, that's nice.
And she did it and beat it by a week.
That's fucking crazy.
Nice.
I feel like we need to
her.
have like a
Hell
whole
yeah.
episode about her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she sounds
Like,
amazing.
she sounds like a
Seriously.
bad one, dude. Like,
And,
yeah.
she also ended her career writing as a foreign correspondent during World War One.
Hell yeah, she did.
Wow.
She sounds so freaking cool.
Pretty crazy, yeah.
We might need to cover
keep that one in the back
yeah,
pocket.
put it on the list.
Yeah.
She's
We
like
should
a
write that
little
down.
brown girl, too.
Hell yeah, we like the little brown. We like brown people there. This podcast. We fucks
In
with
general.
them. We fucks with them.
Yeah, psych wards are crazy, man. Like I couldn't imagine, because like
It's really.
what's the movie we talked about? One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah.
That's like
Yeah.
probably the first one that comes to
Oh,
mind.
yeah, for sure. Nurse Ratchet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because like when I was a kid, that's what I thought like it was,
So
and I thought that was like legitimately still a real thing.
The first one that I saw, I think, was Girl Interrupted.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
don't
And
think I've seen that one.
then I started
It's
getting
so good.
really into stuff like that, and I was like watching all of them.
You
I
like
was
Angelina Jolie? She's in that.
Oh yeah,
one.
hell yeah. Love
so-
Angelina Jolie.
Just a real quick side story about that, because I remember reading the book for this, for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. That is actually one of the banned books now from school.
Are you
Of course it
serious?
is.
No
Well,
way.
and there's so much truth to that movie. It's crazy. Even the electroshock therapy. I mean, if you've ever seen that movie, that scene should stick out in your head, right?
Oh yeah.
That's like the epitome of this is an unruly patient that we cannot control. We're just going to electroshock the fuck out of him until he submits, right? And then that doesn't work. What do? Shove that fucking thing in his eye, right?
Yeah.
Scramble his brain a little bit.
Yep.
But it's just so like, just in what I was reading, it's just that's so true to how they were, and that movie depicts the 1950s kind of version of mental institutions, and it's just so closely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It happened.
it did. And just not even that long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even in Girl Interrupted, like you mentioned, with the restraints, right?
Yeah.
So they tried not to restrain people for too long, but in that movie, that's another real example of restraining someone for a little bit of time because they are hard to deal with.
Because they just can't deal with them any other way.
Yeah.
They don't have the resources or the patience
Yeah.
or whatever.
I mean, luckily, I don't even want to say luckily, but in there's some really great things that came out of like pharmaceutical therapy for mentally ill people, right? People with schizophrenia, depression, things like that. I mean, at the very beginning, there was some stuff that was not very good to put in people's bodies, but luckily the electroshock and lobotomies and things like that are either very less or non-existent anymore. Thank fuck.
Like, look at what all the lithium did to Britney Spears,
right? And so many other people.
She's like messed up for life.
Mm-hmm.
There's still, stuff like that going on.
What was that one thing we were talking about? That one medicine that makes you lose weight?
Oh, Ozempic.
Ozempic.
Yeah.
So that reminds, I don't know.
Man, laws are so crazy, like especially for women, like
Yeah.
throughout the because the episode I think what originally reminded me of this is when we talked about the Black Plague, all the people in Italy, and then we like kind of briefly talked about psych ward.
I think we might have briefly talked about it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought it was. But I heard this in a podcast. I listened to this one podcast called Dopey, and it's just like famous recovering drug addicts.
Okay.
Yeah, so they just always interview famous people telling the crazy stories. But it was up until like 1976, somewhere like that, where you were legally still allowed to force your wife to have sex with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like marital rape wasn't a thing.
Right.
Yeah.
It was only the 70s that no-fault divorce was introduced. Before, a woman had to basically prove that her husband cheated on her, and other than that, she wasn't allowed to like ask for a divorce or that he beat her or something.
I think there's this weird thing now, I mean, that you bring it up when it comes to like kind of abortion law right now, where you can't get divorced if you're pregnant. So
that happened to my mom.
Real.
That happened to my mom when
Yeah.
she was pregnant with me. She was going through a divorce with her ex-husband, and the judge would not grant her the divorce until she gave birth to me.
And this is happening in 2024.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's fucking wild, dude.
Wild.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And
Not
like
cool.
and like in the medical industry too, especially like when you think about how like, men get general anesthesia for a vasectomy, but like women have uterine biopsies or IUD insertions, which are excruciatingly painful.
Horrible.
And there is absolutely zero painkillers involved, nothing. And it's like barbaric. And it's like, why? Well, it's because we're fucking women. That's why. Like, why else,
Yeah.
So.
That's sad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go call my mom.
Whoops.
Go call your mom and apologize on behalf of the male species.
No, I'm not doing all that. That's a bit of work for me.
Just
but
tell her you love her and you think she's pretty. That's all.
there we go.
Just
Now,
think
that I can handle that part.
Yeah.
That I can do.
If your mother is alive, or made it, that just means they survived
Oh, seriously.
A lot
all
of
this
horrible
crazy
things.
fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
That's you come from a bloodline of survivors. God damn it.
Yeah.
For real.
Call your mom too, Deej.
Yeah, I'm gonna give her a call.
Tell her I said hi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I not call my mom? Because, like,
Yeah, that seems like a bit of work for you,
Yeah,
actually.
it's too much
Like, I like my mom. Like,
I just
I
can't
like his
handle it.
mom, actually. Tell your mom I said hi.
Will do.
And I hope she's doing good. And tell her to come to the beer release. so she can.
Oh yeah, she probably will. This
I want to
time.
meet your mom.
Yeah, she couldn't make it.
Come to be
Yeah,
released.
she didn't come.
Yeah,
to
she's
the
awesome.
party.
You'd
Does
love
she
her.
hug people? I'll hug her.
Yeah, she
Okay,
does.
good.
Oh, yeah.
I like hugging people.
You'll love her. She's
Okay,
so
good.
sweet.
Yeah, she's super nice.
She
then
does.
this happened.
Real quick before we stop, look at this fucking old picture of a lobotomy. This is just hilarious. I've been staring at this.
Why does it look like the fucking Tin
Why
Man?
does he have that on his head?
Let's get a book on his
my
head.
God.
What's he doing?
Wait, there's a funnel on this guy's head and there's a book on this guy's head.
No. This
That's
is
a
Wizard
woman.
of Oz. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Obviously, the Wizard of Oz.
pretty sure that's
That's
Dorothy.
the lion.
Yep. Yeah. Can you use that photo for our thing?
Yeah, send me that
I'll
link.
Yeah.
save it. Send it to you.
Yeah. Thanks, because the audience needs to see what the fuck we just
know.
looked at.
I'm
So
confused
they need a
by
visual
that.
example to see what the hell we just had to go through.
I
the
love
dude's
it.
face, he's just like, it's like, when you use like one of those like head tickle things.
Oh my God, yes.
Oh, you're using it on a
Just,
dog?
like,
Yes.
fucking
I love
gives
those.
out. Yeah.
I love using them on dogs because dogs just like they get all kind of cracked out on it.
I could finally use it on Juno now. She wouldn't let me do it for the longest.
Oh yeah, you've had that for a long time. Mm-hmm. Oh Juno.
Jesus
Jesus.
Christ,
Oh
Charlie.
my God.
Is he okay?
Give him a lobotomy.
Honestly.
I've read enough. I think I can do one. Pretty sure.
Stay
Cat's got
tuned
this.
to
You
next
got
episode of
rubbing
Required
alcohol?
Taste.
Charlie, get in here.
Oh, let's do a Patreon where I do somebody's lobotomy. That'd be fun.
I got service to
$1
aftertaste.
a month. You could listen to Cat give Charlie a lobotomy.
Worth it.
I feel like we could get Greg probably.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, he's obviously a
For
witch.
sure.
Hit him right in the balls.
Greg is an unruly woman.
Greg would benefit from a lobotomy, I think.
I think we all would, actually. It's
I would
fine.
a lobotomy just sounds so peaceful. Like, can I just have one, please?
Yeah,
I
just
mean-
to like really not give a fuck anymore would be
Yeah.
just like,
I feel like we have drugs for that.
I just want to reset.
I don't
You
think
know?
I would have to
I feel
go
like we have
on
drugs for that
anymore.
too.
Yeah.
no, there's too many
Micro-
like what do you call
microdosing
those
some
things
shrooms.
that happen when you take?
Like side effects?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Microdose some shrooms.
There's
Give
no
a little
side
reset.
effects of a
That's
lobotomy.
Yeah, like
Have you
microdose
ever
some
microdosed?
shrooms. I have. It's great.
Yeah. Talk about.
You've probably heard
feeling
about this before.
I forgot about it until that look.
You know what? Let's save it for a Patreon,
Patreon episode. You're right. You know what we should do? We should have Kat on a Patreon episode.
I would love that.
We should.
Yeah,
and
so
we'll talk
we're gonna
about,
work on that.
We'll talk about shrooms.
That would be great. And then I can cuss as much as I want. And that would be so great.
I mean, you can
Yeah,
on
but
this
you
podcast.
can't really. Yeah,
anyway.
we don't really
I
have
know,
that
but sometimes
restriction.
I'm like, why is there a Patreon? What the fuck?
Because
we talked about butt sex the first episode I was on. Maybe both of them. I don't know.
I feel like now we're 3 for 3 at this point.
Oh,
oh boy.
That's what I'm talking about.
All
Indeed. Anyways, let's wrap this bad boy up.
all right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Y'all got anything? Good?
No, we're
Good. Good.
Good.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for listening to Required Taste Podcast. Please give us a like and share on your favorite listening and social media. We actually have more we have more subscribers out to our Spotify
Yeah.
notice today. So thank you, newer subscribers. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Share us with your friends. Share us with your family. Share us with your bald-headed mammy. We appreciate y'all.
Follow us on everything. Follow Kat too. Where can people find you on Instagram?
Fanning Katrina.
Cool.
With a K.
Yes.
Indeed.
Go follow Kat.
Follow
The
me.
big cat and her big cat adventures.
Yes.
I am a big cat.
It's true. Out there just doing big cat stuff.
Thank you guys, by the way. I love you so much. This
Yeah,
was
thank you for
awesome.
coming
Yeah,
on.
thank
This
you.
was so
Coming
nice
back.
to have a girl
It
on
was
the
a
pod.
repeat. And
Hell
then
yeah.
we're going to do our tea thing.
Yes. We're
Can't
going to
wait.
have
gonna be
our
great.
tea cast.
It's going to be great.
And that's going to be like the breakout one that goes viral and
Yeah, right.
leaves this podcast in the dust.
Well, I feel like we might bring them up.
I think so.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, uplift us a little bit, help the
Yeah.
boys.
People will be like, oh, I like this. What's in my recommended? And then it'll be like
Request
Right.
taste.
3
Yeah.
more down.
You're so mean.
God,
Guess we'll see what these men are talking about. Fuck.
I don't know.
That's true.
Whatever.
Anyways, as per usual, we do appreciate everybody with your support. We do love that we've grown in the past 2 years, and that's all thanks to you all. So thank you for your listenership, and sharing us with your peoples. And on that note, come out to our thing on the 27th, by the way, April
Yeah.
27th
We'd love to see you.
at Foreign Local in Hammond. So
Yeah.
yeah, come through, have some beer, have a burger,
Yep.
and chill the fuck out with us. That'd be great.
dang.
Anyways, that'll be cool.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.